New developments in the case of Toledo's latest murder victim. As family and friends mourn, police are looking for those responsible.
Plus, the World Cup may be over, but plenty of soccer fever still going around.
And we're getting you ready for the Marathon Classic in Sylvania. Your local news right now. Thanks for joining us tonight. We begin with the first check of that forecast, a much needed cool down from the heat.
Yeah, you can say that again. So nice to get a break from that humidity all week long. But John, I'm guessing we're not out of the woods quite yet with the muggy weather this week.
Well, you guessed correctly. We've still got a couple more days of beautiful breezy conditions, lower humidity to start off the work week. Here's what you can expect. Less humid feel, even less humid than today, with that nice lake breeze continuing for your Monday. Overnight tonight, any clouds that you might have seen today going to clear on out by later on this evening and overnight, giving way to a nice breeze for your day on Monday. Tomorrow, we're going to get up to the low to mid 80s. Don't let that temperature fool you, though, because with the northeast breeze, it's going to feel even cooler than the temperature might suggest. Tuesday, not going to be quite as windy, might be a little bit warmer as temperatures crank on up to the mid 80s, but still a very comfortable, cool feel to start off the work week. 83 degrees tomorrow, perfect for that morning walk. Temperatures still in the 70s through late morning with no shortage of sunshine. I'll let you know about our next return of some humidity coming up in your full First Alert forecast.
All right, John, thank you so much. To a story we've been following all weekend long, TPD arresting and charging a second person who they say was involved in the murder of Tyler Carr. Tonight, we're learning that the person who drove the suspects to the Ironwood apartment, Darian Martin, is now behind bars. Authorities arrested this man, Dominique Roberts, last night on an aggravated murder charge. And tonight, police are still on the lookout for this man, Justin Wright, on an aggravated murder warrant. As police continue to investigate, Carr's family and friends coming together tonight to remember and honor his life. Amy Steigerwald spoke with those closest to him.
A somber mood here in East Toledo as family and friends of Tyler Carr gathered to honor him and remember his legacy. He was shot on Saturday morning in East Toledo. Family members gathered at the corner of White and Crystal in East Toledo to remember Tyler Carr. Those who were close to him say he will be remembered for his kind personality and how many lives he touched. Friends and neighbors came by to comfort the family and to tell them how much Tyler meant to them. Family members we spoke to having a lot of positive things to say about Tyler.
He was loved by probably, this isn't even a quarter of the people here. There's maybe hundreds of other people. We just wanted to remember him and his name.
He was a family man and he was the dad of my children. So it's sad. And I just hope that they find whoever did this to him.
Tyler Carr was shot on Saturday morning around 4 a.m. Toledo police were called to the corner of White and Ironwood streets near East Broadway in East Toledo. Detectives say he was shot in the chest when they found him. Right now, there is still one man on the streets in connection to this. Police are looking for Justin Wright on an aggravated murder charge. Now, if you know anything about this incident, you're encouraged to call Crime Stoppers at 419-255-1111. Reporting in East Toledo, Amy Steigerwald, WTOL 11.
New details tonight on a fatal crash happening in Salem Township earlier this evening. Two drivers, both on motorcycles, crashing head-on, killing one and sending another driver by life flight to the emergency room. David Snoke was driving on eastbound State Route 105. Snoke going into the center lane and striking another motorcycle driven by Andrew Fowler, who was going westbound. Police say Snoke was not wearing a helmet. Fowler was. It remains under investigation.
Right now, the search is on for an 18-year-old man at Nickel Plate Beach in Huron. Alvin Martin from Ashland has been missing in the water for several hours now. We're learning that the Huron Fire Department called off their part of the search around 6 p.m. The U.S. Coast Guard says they'll keep searching for Martin through the night. The fire chief telling us Martin is just shy of his 19th birthday. Stay with us for the latest information on our free WTOL News app. A former Olympic wrestler and high school coach in Akron is charged with having a sexual relationship with a female student. 35-year-old Justin Harry Lester turned himself into police. The 19-year-old victim says she was just 18 when Lester began an inappropriate sexual relationship with her while she was still a student. Lester competed in the London Games in 2012. It's unclear if he's still employed at the high school. Almost 600 motorcycle riders showed up at Toledo Harley-Davidson to remember Sierra Joggin. Joggin was the young woman and UT student who was kidnapped and murdered in 2016. Riders today showed up to support the organization Keeping Our Girls Safe, which started in honor of Sierra. The bikers traveled from the motorcycle shop on Central Avenue to the Fulton County Fairgrounds.
It's hard to explain that feeling. We appreciate it so much, and I don't know if we would have gotten through this without them. It's been a rough few years without Sierra, and so this has really helped us take each day one step at a time.
Money raised from the event will help pay for self-defense classes for young women and girls.
All eyes on the U.S. women today in France as they took on the Netherlands in the World Cup finals. Northwest Ohio doing its part, cheering on the red, white, and blue as hundreds of fans watched on the big screen at Fifth Third Field.
USA! Woo!
Tonight, happy Northwest Ohioans.
The atmosphere is amazing here.
Coming together for not just a soccer match,
I really like Megan Rapinoe and Alex Morgan,
but a day to celebrate patriotism.
The way the politics are going nowadays, we gotta love each other, enjoy each other, popcorn and a beer. What more does a man want?
Scores of folks from different walks of life, of all shapes and sizes, converging in downtown Toledo with strangers.
with every other people that you don't know, the atmosphere combined together is just absolutely amazing.
On a day that the weather welcomed one and all.
It's actually really nice out. It's not super hot. It's actually really cool. Thank gosh, the rain is holding off. But yeah, I'm watching the U.S. win the World Cup, baby.
Indeed, they would win, making the United States back-to-back World Cup champions. A historic feat worthy of some fan love.
USA. USA.
Meanwhile, locals and volunteers were all over the grounds at Highland Meadows today, making sure the course is in tip-top condition for the Marathon Classic. In total this week, close to 1,000 volunteers chipped in to make this tournament possible.
A lot of the finishing touches that we're working on today are making sure all of the coolers are out, any of the final ropes that we need to put up among all of the stakes, the tents that we might not have been able to get to over the course of this last week, just any final things that we might not have been able to do while the members are still out here.
And if you're heading to the Marathon Classic at any point this week, there are some safety tips and traffic patterns you should be aware of. The Sylvania Police Department is reminding everyone there's no street parking surrounding Highland Meadows Country Club during tournament hours. On top of that, Erie Street will have 2 lanes, both heading east. 1 lane for cars, the other one for buses dropping folks off at the course. Officers say it can get very congested in that area, especially if there are course evacuations due to weather. Officers from the Sylvania Police Department will be on scene assisting both pedestrians and buses dropping people off at the course throughout the day. Drivers are asked to be cautious around that area.
Around where the buses are going to be stopped, you're going to see officers standing there to help the pedestrians get back and forth across the street. So keep an eye out for our officers and be watching for them to stop traffic.
Now, the tournament will be doing bag checks, and there are a number of items you actually cannot bring. Some of the less obvious ones include large backpacks, coolers, and some other containers. We have all of those items listed on our free WTOL 11 app right now.
Runners took off today at the Sparkler 5K in honor of Felissa Barnes, who passed away in a car accident almost a decade ago. It's called the Sparkler 5K because Barnes' family says she always lit up a room. The money raised goes to the Felissa Barnes Memorial Scholarship Fund, which awards 2 $750 scholarships to graduating students at Mason Senior High School.
We did cross country together, so we always shared that bonding experience on the the cross-country team, and cross-country teams are always really close. So our sisters were best friends, and then we were best friends. So it was just really a special experience to have all of us on the team together, and yeah, a lot of great memories.
The 5K for Melissa Barnes takes place every year. A last look at Toledo history, at least for the time being. Northwest Ohioans flocking to the Toledo Lighthouse at Maumee Bay State Park today. It's a chance to catch a glimpse of an iconic lighthouse before renovations begin. The festival is put on by volunteers raising money to restore the lighthouse.
The structure itself is in good condition. So this year we're putting the windows in the first floor and putting shutters on it and doors. And the rest of the restoration will be putting new infrastructure in it. It's like an old house that's been abandoned for about 40 or 50 years. That's kind of where it's at.
And when it's all done, boaters and visitors can visit the lighthouse between May and September.
Beautiful weather continues for tomorrow, breezy and cool, plus more sunshine. But when will the humidity return? I'll answer that in a few minutes.